Well, hey everybody, this is Real Honesty with John Riddle, and this is a review of Raw Grand Rapids, aka Grand Silence. Because this crowd was so silent, it's like they were being held hostage to watch this damn show. They were alive for a few parts of it. I'm not saying the show was all that great, but good God, any matches, they could have been good. The crowd basically didn't give them much of anything. It took forever for this crowd to really give a pop to anything that wasn't Becky. Not that I blame them, but this show was really not fucking good at all. You may notice that I'm doing the review by myself. I'm doing the reviews this week, not the 205 Live NXT review, but tonight. The SmackDown review tomorrow and the Chamber predictions either tomorrow after SmackDown or soon, or, on Wednesday. I'm going to be doing solo reviews. Derb and I will be doing, the Chamber review, weather permitting and everything. But he is on vacation enjoying, so you get me for this. And Triple H and Stephanie start out talking about the Elimination Chamber view. Oh, wait, Chamber pay-per-view, because Stephanie knows the best words indeed. They're talking everything. They hype up, the whole thing about the Chamber and say, wait a second, Becky needs to come out here, and Becky appears, and we want Becky versus Ronda because it is best for business. We do not need that fucking bullshit again. We left that shit back in 2014, 15, 16. We don't need that shit again. Becky's so damn over, and in all that leather, this must be what heaven is like. The match with Ronda is on as long as Becky apologizes. Triple H and Stephanie apologize. They want an apology from Becky. If she doesn't make a decision by the end of the night, then the match is off. Okay, whatever. And then you have you have a team, have a 3-team match. It's Sasha and Bayley versus Liv and Sarah versus Nia and Tamina. The losing team enters the women's tag team title chamber match first. And there's a pre-match promo with Nia and Tamina talking about the Samoan slaughterhouse. No, Tamina, that was what your dad did to Nancy, and your dad never spent a day in jail or a year in jail, and he should have, and hopefully he's burning in hell for what he did. Not that that's Tamina's fault, but her dad was a goddamn murderer. Anyway, and Nia's just a goddamn botch machine. Nia's a goddamn joke. She can't do anything right in the ring. I mean, and it's like, and people say that she's not any good or whatever. I said, her weight's not an issue, though. She's only a 300.5-ounce Samoan woman, and that promo will always haunt her, and it is always going to haunt her, and it should haunt her. Sasha was taken to the back, apparently, due to it. Sasha is not cleared for full contact and everything, so they kind of are finding a way to keep her on TV and then write her out a little bit, so Bayley had to go it alone. Nia ends up pinning Bayley. There was one point, though, where Graves said something about, oh, Sasha should suck it up, it's easy. Well, Graves, why the fuck isn't your lazy ass in the ring? Oh, right, because you hurt your whittle brain, and then you got your whittle, feelings hurt when Punk stopped talking to you, and then you decided to pick on fans that might need food stamps, and make fun of a whole bunch of other people and everything, and defend Bill DeMott, because you think that that's how training should be done. Corey, you're a goddamn idiot, and I guess CTE's setting in early for you. Corey, you're a goddamn embarrassment to commentary. He is a fucking embarrassment to commentary. He has gotten so atrocious in the past couple years. It is really, really fucking bad. And he needs to be removed at least from one show. Ideally, I'd remove him from both because I'm sorry, I'm fucking sick of the guy. Has nothing necessarily to do with him just being a heel commentator. There's being a heel commentator, and whether he's being overproduced or not, he is fucking terrible at what he does. And his recent meltdown on Twitter, I'm sorry. I'm not saying that the guy deserves to have, death threats or injuries thrown, injury threats thrown at him and that kind of stuff, or threats towards his family, but the guy's a fucking prick, and a lot of the language he uses, if he's somebody that clearly suffered a whole lot, he really doesn't seem to, sympathize with other people that might be suffering now that he's so successful. He's a better commentator than he was a wrestler, I'll just say that much. That's not a very high bar, though. He's barely Jesse Ventura in WCW. He's maybe half of that, and that's not really a good thing, because Jesse Ventura didn't give a shit in WCW. Anyway, let's get back to the match. Nia pins Bayley. Okay, so Bayley and Sasha are going to enter the chamber match first. I'm going to just save my chamber predictions for later. There are so far 7 matches on the card, and about 2 of them were announced earlier today, I guess. But anyway, Sasha and Bayley are number 1. They're probably going to end up winning the whole thing. Who knows? Becky and Balor are talking backstage, and it's advice. Balor's saying, well, you should apologize. Don't ruin your chance by being stubborn. all this kind of stuff. Becky and Balor just kiss already. I mean, I'm kidding. They really do have a strong bond, though, as Balor is one of the reasons that Becky got back into wrestling. And we don't even get to our second match until about an hour, or, until the second hour of the show. Elias was interrupted by that promo by Becky and Balor, and then by a video package, and then by the Lucha House Party. And Elias was upset, really upset and everything, and he insults Grand Rapids, says, hey, wait, you think you can do a better job? Kalisto actually plays the guitar pretty damn well. He can play the guitar and do good lucha things really, really well. And then Elias says, how about a duet? Let's have a duet. And Grand Metalik and, Lindsay Dorado are over there. Really bad that I forgot what his name was for a second, since they're both really talented. And Kalisto's sitting on the bench. Elias goes to get another guitar and smashes Kalisto over the back with it. That's what should have happened, and that was absolutely fucking hilarious. I fucking love that. That was great. It has nothing to do with the fact Kalisto blocked me on Twitter, and I have nothing against Kalisto, the person, but as a wrestler, he's great, but he's bland. Also, at the same time, I mean, he's great in the ring, but I don't know. I just haven't found him interesting in like 3 years. Still, that stuff with Elias, that was pretty gold. And then, Lashley's at ringside for this next match, but first we get Sonya and Mandy with an interview piece about the Chamber. They had Sonya, Mandy, and the Iconics do interview pieces for their for the match that they're going to be doing, and the reason is they're going to be doing a long gauntlet match on SmackDown. They're not going to have time for all this stuff because they plan things really, really well. It's a gauntlet match for the with all the men's Chamber participants. But anyway, Sonya and Mandy cutting a brief interview piece. Cool, it was what it was. Balor versus Drew, and Lashley's at ringside, so is Leo, and it ends up after like a little bit of action. Lashley interferes, causes a DQ, and then everybody runs out there, though. Angle runs out there, Corbin runs out there, Braun runs out there, and it's lazy. It's fucking lazy, because then we get a 6-man tag match that goes for about 30 pissing minutes. Now, I know it's the go-home show for pay-per-view. I'm not expecting everything to be blow-away. Build up some matches, all that stuff and everything. But the problem is, this did not entice me to, be interested in any of the matches that are going to be happening at the pay-per-view. Corbin and Braun, or Lashley, Leo versus Balor, which is going to be kind of interesting and also not. But there we go. We had Balor and Angle and Braun versus Corbin, Lashley and Drew. And look, it was a good match for what it was. They did focus on Balor quite a bit. Lashley ends up pinning Balor, and but Balor's foot's on the rope. But Lashley takes the foot away, like right after the ref counts 3, before the ref can see it and wave off the match. But then another ref comes from the back and says, wait a second, his foot was on the rope. Look at this footage. They finally use the Titantron, or the footage, for its right purposes and everything, and the match gets restarted. So after this match had gone on for a bit, we get another match within a match. It's matchception. I can't even say that straight. This show was frustrating. It wasn't even so much that it was bad, it was just frustrating. Balor ends up getting beat up for a while, and then Corbin ends up, doing all his stuff. It's pretty fucking embarrassing. I mean, I'm sorry. This was really, really fucking embarrassing. And I'm moving around a little bit here, guys, because it was so fucking ridiculous. And I'm just waving my hands around because I got nothing left. I got nothing left for like the rest of the stuff. And Braun comes back. He slams Lashley soon after getting the tag. But then actually tags Balor. Balor gets, Balor hits the coup de grace, 1, 2, 3, pins Lashley, so we know who's not winning the title on Sunday. Then we get a Kevin Owens promo, and he bowls a gutter ball. He's hanging out with his family in a bowling alley. Can't wait to see Kevin Owens back. Maybe he'll be back in time for Mania. Probably not, but whatever. He's able to enjoy time off with his family as he's earned, and is able to rest and recover from injuries. Charlie is interviewing Becky Lynch and eyeing the man. She eyes a lot of men, but eyeing the man, that's an appropriate reaction. Ruby versus Nikki Cross in a decent match that the crowd didn't give 2 shits about, and I feel bad. They have made Ruby one of the most underwhelming challengers to a women's title. She's facing Ronda Rousey this Sunday, by the way. You may not have known that with the way the crowd didn't necessarily care and how creative was focusing on Ronda versus Becky. Ruby just seen as an afterthought and everything, which is a shame, but that's how they've been booking Ruby for quite a while. It was decent enough. Ruby did hit the riot kick, got the victory, 1, 2, 3. That was cool. Both these women can put on a good match. The crowd just didn't give two shits. Becky and Ronda are talking backstage. During this match, by the way, they cut to that. They cut to a lot of backstage thing during the match, just saying, hey, by the way, this match going on, yeah, we don't give a fuck. And then Rollins with a passionate promo, and the crowd didn't give two shits. Seriously, Grand Rapids, did somebody hold your dog hostage and force you to go watch it, and you just watch it in protest? What the hell? I know the show wasn't all that great, but good God. Heyman coming out, talking about Lesnar, same old shit. If they don't freshen up Heyman's character, they need to just have him off TV after Mania 35. Have Rollins beat him, beat Lesnar, and have the Universal title on Raw. Just have it on Raw. This is what happens when you don't have a main title on Raw. You get some bland shows, no matter how hardworking the talents are. Then Dean comes out there, and his music hits, and he just says to Seth, "Go slay the beast." Okay. And then he faces EC3 in a rematch from last week. But before, we get the Iconics with the same interview piece that you got from SmackDown. Cool, it was what it was. I root for the Iconics, and I hope they do well and even win the Women's Tag Team Championships. And then Ambrose beats EC3. 50-50 booking city, bitch. What the fuck? Is Dean leaving? Is he going? I have no fucking idea what's going on. I really don't. I don't know why EC3 lost. But whatever. I mean, EC3's kind of already felt very muted already, before he even has first match. And that's really sad. And we don't even know if he's going to be on Raw or not. And then we get Becky and Alexa, and Alexa's like, well, if you don't apologize, and Becky's like, well, if I don't apologize, that frees up the match. That frees up the spot and means you can be in the match or whatever. And Alexa, you don't have a genuine bone in your body. And you stop thinking about giving Alexa a genuine bone. You stop that. You stop that right now. And then Rude and Gable versus the Revival for the tag titles. The crowd didn't care until they kept going with near falls and good action and everything. And then the crowd finally started chanting, "This is awesome. Hooray! The Revival are your Raw Tag Team Champions." It was a good match. It was a really good match. A really well done match. And I can't wait for the Revival to be featured on every single kickoff show till they lose the titles. I love the Revival, but Vince doesn't give a shit about tag team wrestling. That was a really good match. It really was. Gable and Rude did the best they could with, what they were given as far as, just being randomly given the tag titles. Hopefully the Revival can hold them for a good long time, meaning they're probably going to lose them at Mania. I would be very, very surprised if they didn't. And they may be added to the kickoff show all of a sudden. And they may just face a random tag team. They'll face Hawkins and Ryder. Or they'll face somebody. Watch, they face Hawkins and Ryder, and Hawkins and Ryder beat them on the kickoff. Watch that happen. I hope it doesn't. And then, this is basically Please Don't Leave. The Revival, please don't leave, please don't leave. And then we get to Becky's decision. She said she's sorry. The match with Ronda is on. Triple H and Stephanie shake her hand. Okay, cool, that's it. Becky's like, yay, Ronda's out there and everything, and then you hear a gruff voice. I guess Vince just woke up from his goddamn nap because he's old crotchety son of a bitch that needs to retire. And he suspends Becky for 60 days. Says, you have a bad attitude. I'm suspending you for 60 days. He thinks that Becky is Titus, apparently. He must be flashing back to about 3 years ago, because I was there at the show where they suspended Titus, because that was Daniel Bryan's retirement show. But anyway, he says, no, Ronda needs somebody that's going to push her to the limit. Here's Charlotte Flair. The exact thing that we don't want. So let's have Charlotte Flair there. Here's what I'm guessing is going to happen. Charlotte's going to be at Elimination Chamber. Becky will show up and attack her. And we'll get a match at Fastlane. Cool. And then maybe you end up with a double countout. And both of them end up in a triple threat. Because that's what's going to happen. It's going to end up being a triple threat. They're lining it up to have Becky be... They better have Becky in there, and it better not be that she's actually injured. She better be in that goddamn match. You want to have it be a triple threat? I'm not happy about it. It is what it is, but Becky versus Ronda was much more enticing. But they want to put Charlotte in everything. They are making Charlotte public enemy number one here. Ronda's not exactly good to, worth cheering. But Becky is going to be the one that they cheer like crazy. Now, there are only about 6-7 weeks until Mania. I'm going to say that if they haven't added Becky by Fastlane or just after Fastlane, okay, let's start to panic there. This is stupid because no one wants to see Charlotte versus Ronda at round 2. We want to see, at worst, at least a triple threat, or at best, Ronda versus Becky, the match we never got to see. I'm just going to say it right now, D+. D+. That crowd really took it out. The tag match was good. The Becky stuff was good. Everything else I just didn't give two shits about. And it wasn't like the women were bad. It wasn't like the women's match was bad. That wasn't it. The crowd was very, very muted, and it wasn't really that good of a show. Too much talking, and then that 6-man tag was on way too long. The tag title match, I understood. But anyway, D+, poll is up there. Leave some comments. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think they're actually just going to kick Becky out of the whole damn thing, or if they're actually just going to make a triple threat. Like, share, subscribe. Twitter handle in the description. It's been Real Honesty with John Riddle, and I will be back for SmackDown, and see you soon.